Spider-Man's suit is packed full of so many powers like being bulletproof, being able to shoot webs, and being able to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich anytime, anywhere. Okay, maybe not the third one, but it's definitely a pretty rad suit even without that very important feature. While you probably dreamt of being Spider-Man once or twice in your life, believe it or not, it might not be a dream anymore. All you need's a small loan worth millions of dollars, and you too could be swinging through the streets and saving the world. Today, we're going to take a look at how much it would cost to make your very own real-life Spidey suit. Spider sense is not included. While Tom Holland said that the Spider-Man suits used in our favorite MCU films cost $130,000 each, he believes that an actual working Spider-Man suit would cost millions and millions of dollars. But before we tell you how much we think a Spider-Man suit would cost, we have to go through everything that makes up the suit. So let's start off by taking a look at how much the raw materials would cost. Spider-Man's suit is skin tight. If a suit's that tight on your body, then it has to be incredibly stretchy and light. It can't be super heavy because it would make the forces of gravity kick in a little stronger, and swinging around the streets of New York would be a bit more difficult for our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. On top of being flexible and light, the suit also has to be tough as nails. The strongest material in the known world isn't vibranium, as much as we wish it was. It's actually graphene. If you want us to get all sciencey on you, well, we won't, because we wouldn't know what we're talking about. Instead, we'll just keep it simple and tell you that graphene is incredibly sturdy and 1,000,000 times thinner than a single piece of paper. In fact, 2 layers of graphene could form a material called diamine that's powerful enough to stop a bullet right in its tracks. Now, of course, you can't just wear graphene. It's not in style yet, so you'll have to combine it with something a little more flexible, like the material they use to make boat sails. Okay, maybe that's not the first thing that comes to mind for you, but this material is called Dyneema, and it's lighter than water. The good news is that it's not that expensive, as it'll only set you back around $20 per square meter. The bad news is that graphene is extremely pricey at around $500,000 per 10 kilograms. Woof, that's a tough sell. We talked to some of our fashion designer friends, we swear we have those, and they said that you'd need around 50 kilograms of graphene to make a suit, which means you're looking at $2.5 million just for the raw materials. And it's only about to get worse from here. Next up are the Webshooters. Of course, the best material to use for these would be natural spider silk, or else you couldn't possibly call yourself Spider-Man, could ya? Oh, and it's also one of the most powerful substances on Earth. The thing is, getting your hands on a whole lot of natural spider silk is going to cost a pretty penny, and we don't recommend starting your own spider milking farm. But not all hope is lost, because one German tech company known as AM Silk is making their own spider silk for commercial use. In fact, their managing director even said they could make 1 whole ton if someone ordered it. Very impressive. Supposedly, the spider silk market is booming, and these guys are trying to capitalize upon it. Now, of course, 1 whole ton of spider silk is going to cost you an arm and a leg, possibly even 2 arms and 2 legs. But you're going to need it if you want to become Spider-Man. The prices of spider silk vary from factory to factory, but they could be between anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 a kilogram. So if we take the average of that, it'll set you back at least $5 million. Don't waste your web on doing useless things, though, because that's one way to lose money fast. As you can tell, things are starting to get even more complicated, and we're going to be getting into the advanced computer AI programmed into the Spider-Man suit. While AI is all the rage now, and all of our phones and even computers are packing personal assistants capable of knowing pretty much everything about us and the world at large, it still has a ways to go. An AI by Honda is what powers the Asimo robot, which stands for Advanced Step in Innovative Mobility. This is a very sophisticated AI that allows the robot to recognize its environment and interpret its surroundings. It even has plenty of cameras so it doesn't just walk around smacking into everything in sight, which is very important. If you want your very own AI like the Asimo robot, then you're going to have to pay up. Once again, this bill will take you into the millions, so if you have $2.5 million just lying under your mattress, you can invest it in your very own robot that you can toy with and find a way to fit into your Spider-Man suit. Not all of us have the luxury of being good friends with Tony Stark. Now, this is all fine and dandy. We've only spent around $10 million so far, and we're not even close to being finished yet. Next up are Webb Gliders. Sure, Spider-Man armpit gliders, Webb Gliders that we saw in Spider-Man Far From Home look like they were from the early days of the comics, because they were. But they're very useful because you don't want to swing from webs all the time, do ya? Webb Gliders can make things a bit easier for you as the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and allow you to glide through the sky with minimal effort. Now, you physically can't make gliders out of spider silk, but what you can do is buy a high-end wingsuit and make it look like a spider web. How much is that going to cost you? Well, compared to most things on this list, absolutely nothing. A top-of-the-line wingsuit will only set you back about $5,000, which isn't too bad in all honesty. Back to the super geeky computer stuff, you're going to need an augmented reality heads-up display, or HUD if you want to truly become Spider-Man. Luckily for you, this won't be too difficult for you to get your hands on, since many high-end cars come with an AR HUD. It's not the most futuristic technology out there, and it's been around for a while, so most of the bugs are ironed out already, and it's also used a lot in the military. In fact, the US Army and Microsoft actually struck a deal recently to supply the military with 100,000 AR headsets. Yep, they're the infamous HoloLens headsets that didn't take off in the gaming world. But if they could help out the troops, then that would be even better. Just one of those headsets costs around $5 million. Now let's talk drones. Spider drones specifically. A superhero needs a drone that could get into every nook and cranny, and you also need one that doesn't require you to be working a remote control either. A top-of-the-line unmanned drone is much more expensive than you think, coming in at $250,000. It's actually a ridiculous price, but totally worth it if you already invested $15 million into your Spider-Man suit. That being said, these drones are incredibly loud and won't get the job done if you're trying to be stealthy. So you need to make one of those yourself, or just get Tony Stark to do it for you. No suit AI is complete without an iconic voice. And you'll need one in your suit too. If authenticity is what you're looking for, then you're going to want the voice of Jennifer Connelly in your suit. If you didn't know, she's Karen, the voice of Spidey's suit in Spider-Man Homecoming. If you want a male voice in your suit, then you could look for Paul Bettany, who voices Jarvis and plays Vision in the MCU. And no actor or actress would voice your suit unless it was worth their while, so expect to shell out anywhere between $500,000 to $1 million for a week-long recording session with either of them. We'll just take the average and say you'll need at least $750,000. That's a heck of a lot of cash to spend, but it's probably worth it. One of the Iron Spider suit's most interesting features is its ability to extend its robotic arms. Who wouldn't want 4 extra AI nanotech spider legs? After all, they are ridiculously intuitive, ain't that right, Peter? It totally won't make you look like Doc Ock either, we promise. Right away, these 4 legs made us think of those weird-looking and hilarious robots from the talented people over at Boston Dynamics. Their robots are incredibly sturdy and resilient. Just look at Spot the Robo-Dog, for example. So wouldn't you want them to design your extra spider legs? We know we would. Buying a low-end version of Spot will set you back $25,000, and you could buy 2 for $50,000 for even more legs. Last but not least, we're going to need to 3D print everything, of course. No one has the intellect of Tony Stark, Shuri, Bruce Banner, and Hank Pym combined, so we doubt you'll be able to put all these materials together yourself. So you're gonna need some help. By using a 3D printer, you could create your Spider-Man suit and you won't have to lift a finger. Sounds simple enough, right? But the best real-life 3D printer you could get will cost around $300,000, which is a heck of a price tag. If you expect this printer to have a super cool name, we're sorry to disappoint you because it's called the Box. Yep, just the Box. The Box is one of the largest and faster 3D printers available, making it perfect for your superhero mission. Okay, so we think that's about it when it comes to all the material, tech, and production costs to put it all together in one suit. Now it's time for everyone's favorite subject, math. All right, carry the 2, add it all up, and you get $16,355,000 per suit. Yep, that's right. It's over $16 million a suit. So if you make one, you better make sure not to damage it to the point that you need a new one. All we recommend is making sure you have a zipper so you could go when you need to go. Hey, don't look at us like that. A super suit just can't look cool. It also has to be practical. And that's how much it would probably cost to design your very own real-life Spider-Man suit. Do you have that kind of money just lying around? If you did, would you spend it all on a Spider-Man suit? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more great videos. Thanks for watching.